Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Rykad. Let's finally begin exploring the Rykad system. Alright, first things first. Let's assign our posts. The Supreme Commander. This post oversees the crew and gives orders to other posts. We'll put Abelard there. He was a prior Navy officer, so it makes sense. A Master Cannoneer. Oh, and over here we have Swing Run. The flagship flies in a straight line, making a full U-turn at the end of its movement. Cooldown from 1 to 3 rounds at random. A Master Cannoneer. This post manages onboard artillery. We'll put Argenta there. And Torpedo Control. Gives control of the nearest torpedo salvo, granting it 5 VMP. Only works on torpedo salvos that were launched on another turn. And all the cooldowns are 1 to 3 rounds at random, so I'm not going to keep reading that. Shieldmaster. This post manages the ship's various technical systems, including the Void Shields. I will put my main character there for now. Once we get our Tech Priest companion, he's going to go there. A Master of Maneuvers. This post oversees execution of the ship's movement and maneuvers. We'll leave that empty for now. Warp Channeler. Huh. There it is. So, skill required, Lore Warp. This is Persuasion here. This should be the tech use skill, not persuasion. Maybe I'm missing something. Anyway, a Warp Channeler. This post performs various warp abilities. And Master of Etherics. This post analyzes the ship's auger and Vox systems, always watchful for traces of the warp. And we'll put Adira there. All features, we have Restart Shields. Initiates the process of restarting the shields. The shields will be restored at the start of the flagship's next turn. Rerouting the power to the shields reduces the flagship speed by -3 and firing range by -2 for its next turn. And we saw Swing Run already. A Void Ship Ram. The flagship rams an enemy, dealing damage. This damage is increased by 10% for each void movement point spent by the flagship to get to the enemy's ship, only after traveling 3 cells. The flagship is then slowed, unable to use prow-mounted weapons until the end of its turn. We saw that already. And obviously the ship can be upgraded as well as you proceed. We have 100 scrap, so we can upgrade the hull and the ram. Alright, these are all the locations that we can check out. Searock 5 will be our first primary destination, where we actually disembark. We'll go to Rykad by Majoris first. It said Majoris. I begin scan. Nothing yet. Let's go to the Astropathic Station. Lord Captain, Astropathic Choirmaster Zachary Weiss is asking to speak to you via private channel. Oh, I don't remember him having a portrait. Or is he new altogether? Either way, don't recognize that guy. Greetings, your lordship. I can report that the choir is listening tirelessly to the Immaterium in the hope of picking up voices from the Dynasty's ships or worlds. However, we have heard something horrifying instead. Amid the Immaterium's tumult, something is screaming. The scream is driving your choir mad. Until it stops, we have no hope of contacting any of the Dynasty's worlds. It's coming from the Rykad system's Astropathic Station. I do not think we have been introduced. Indeed not. And we meet under lamentable circumstances. My name is Zachary Weiss, and I'm proud to be the choirmaster of your ship's Astropathic Choir. The duty I perform is to keep you in contact with the Expanse via astropathic messages sent through the warp by trained psychers. What is the nature of this scream? We do not know, your lordship, but it has brought the Immaterium to a boil. It has always been a violent, roaring ocean that could spell doom to any who would consider stepping into its waters. Now, however, it has become a cradle of madness where expelled images fuse together, twisting and cackling, before crashing into the minds of all who perceive it. A mighty warp storm the likes of which I cannot recall rages in the Imperium, and it fills me with terror. If the scream stops, will we be able to contact someone? I humbly hope so, your lordship. Perhaps we will manage to send a call for aid to the Von Valancius worlds, or one of the Dynasty's allies. We're going to pay a visit to that station. Thank you, your lordship. This might be one we can land on. This might be a new location as well. I thought it was here, but you can never interact with it. But I guess we can now? The astropathic station is dead ahead of the void ship. It is motionless. There is lifeless silence across its vox frequencies. Its lights are out. Even those who have no warp sensitivity can feel the presence of death. It is here, lurking in the shadows. All of this makes reading the reports of the ship's astropaths, who claim to be hearing an incessant ghostly howl emanating from the station, all the more disturbing. Contact the station by Vox. The station is not responding. Perhaps there is no one left who could respond. Deploy a scouting team. The enforcers offered their prayers and proceeded to enter the uncanny station. What they saw inside was monstrous. Astropaths upon their thrones, not quite here, not quite now. Smudged, as it were, across time. Servants reliving their horrible deaths again and again, only to be reborn out of ashes and blood into more agony a moment later. The warp manifested itself here, twisting the very nature of existence. The main hall was covered in a crust of psychic ice. A green-robed blind old man sat motionless upon a tall throne. He was quite literally embedded in the ice, yet he was still alive, and screaming. Send Zachary Weiss to the station with a squad of bodyguards. Choirmaster Weiss boarded the station in person and proceeded to the choir's hall. He stood silently for hours in front of a man frozen in ice and held a telepathic conversation with him. The Master Weiss offered a prayer to the God Emperor, and the unfortunate man passed away. Upon returning to the ship, Weiss reverently presented the Lord Captain with the grim trophy, the late Choirmaster's amulet, taken from his frozen body after his death. Denial of nightmares. If worn by a psyker, the wearer gains immunity to the horrors of the warp effect. Interesting. This amulet is painfully cold to the touch. It once belonged to an astropath who stood strong against the horrors of the warp. Though its former owner met a terrible end, its unbending will lives on in this relic. The psychic shriek carrying across the Immaterium, has been silenced. But this has brought the crew no relief. A chilling realization came to the astropaths when they discovered that the cry was masking a different sound, one even more terrifying and surreal. It was the melody of a cataclysm born from a warp storm of titanic power, so intense that the entire expanse must be able to hear it. It muffles astropathic messages and crawls into psychers' minds, evoking everywhere the same image. A dark, gaping, beastly mouth, cleaving the universe in two. Now that the Mad Choir Master has finally stopped screaming, the Song of the Immaterium has reached the Rogue Trader's void ship too. The Cicatrix Maledictum. A huge warp storm stretching across the galaxy, the result of a catastrophic rift in real space. That split the galaxy in half. Order the station to be explored. A brief and chilling chronicle of the station's doom was found in the scribe's records. A warp disturbance of monstrous proportions wiped out half of the choir at once, turning the astropaths into living portals through which torrents of the Immaterium's energies poured out. Those who lasted longer bellowed and howled about a black rift that had split the universe into before and after, and a darkness that would devour the Astronomicon's light. Burn everything. Four torpedoes shatter the fragile station. One can only hope that the unfortunate souls captured by the warp have perished along with their home. Alright, the unidentified void ship. The Vox crackles to life, and Master Helmsman Ravor addresses you. What we have here, Lord Captain, it is not very noticeable, but there's a void ship sitting in the local asteroid field. It sure is quiet, like it's huddled up in there on purpose. It's not like I am surprised. The thing is more scrap heap than ship at this point. Someone sure went to town on it. We're registering critical damage to the hull and depressurization of several compartments. Oh, there's an incoming transmission now too. Hear us? The Vox transmission hisses and abruptly cuts to static. Do not require assistance. Pete, do not require assistance. Copy? The Vox relays a different voice. Keep following. They'll pass us by, won't they? Roar protects. Lord Captain, I'm told our augurs cannot determine the allegiance of the vessel. To be brief, there's an unidentified and badly damaged vessel within an asteroid field near the Rykad Philia colony that is refusing help. Which, not to put too fine a point on it, has not been offered to them. Ravor, can we establish communication? Let the vessel identify itself. Yes, Lord Captain. The connection is established. Unknown vessel, we're receiving you. Identify yourselves. I repeat, identify yourselves. For a brief moment, the box only hisses and snaps, and then several voices at once start shouting over one another. Do not tell. Tell him. We're done for. This is Thunderfang. We are... One of the voices falters uncertainly, is replaced by another. A merchant vessel. Do you copy? We're a private, chant vessel. A merchant vessel. Of course they are. Darn my stupid head. Where did I hear this name before? Thunderfang. Ravor. Damage report on the unknown vessel. Telemetry shows multiple hull breaches, most likely caused by the guns of a combat ship. Several compartments are leaking air. The bridge has been almost completely obliterated. 2 of the engines are critically damaged. Somebody gave them a thrashing so solid, they barely managed to limp away. Thunderfang, why can we not identify you? You can make out hoarse and furious whispering, even over the crackling of the static. Why? I don't know. What if... Certainly not. The whispering dies and a clear, youthful voice cuts through the static. Our vessel is badly damaged. Damage is preventing the correct identification. We assure you. It's full merchant vessel. Thunderfang does not require aid. Thunderfang, your vessel is badly damaged. What happened to you? The Vox responds by bursting into a cacophony of sounds, words, and emotions. Someone chuckles bitterly, another swears with some foul expletives, and yet another hisses, furiously demanding that the others shut up. You manage to make out little from all this noise. We're just flying, minding our own business. Straight out of the blue and open fire. Miracle we could get away. Emperor protected. And then more fire. Who? Void only knows. Roasted our tail, bombed everything. The folks. Our folks are left without our help. We never got to them. Thunderfang, now stop playing games and explain again what your business is here. And this time, I highly recommend the truth. Happy now? What have you done, idiot? It is too late now. The Vox channel is again filled with the angry whispering of several voices. The whispers and static are drowned out by a clear and slightly frightened voice. Do you copy? We're from the Fellow of the Void. We did not come here to loot, on a different business. Help our own, out of jail. Do not hurt, please. We already had our Chronos cleaned. How about striking a deal? Our hold is full of goods. In case you're unaware, Lord Captain, the Fellowship of the Void is a disorderly assembly of several dozen pirate factions in the Chronos Expanse. They consider themselves above regular heretics solely because they sometimes have vox conversations with those whom they are about to board. Were it up to me, I'd make them eat a salvo from the macro cannons to make the scum loose from the shake the scum loose from the decks. They certainly deserve it. The honeyed voice of the high factotum interrupts the translation with a polite cough. I would wait on destroying the vessel if I were you. Although the moral aspects of their livelihood do cause some awkward questions, the Fellowship of the Void remains a major supplier of goods to the local market. Perhaps you'll find dealing with them acceptable, especially in a situation where performing a warp jump is impossible. Main gun deck, on my order. Aim weapons. Target, Thunderfang. Your Lordship, I beg forgiveness for my impertinence, but let me remind you once again, we're currently locked in the system, without the ability to jump anywhere else. Be reasonable. You really, now of all times, want to get rid of a trading partner. Oops. And remember, the Fellowship of the Void is very likely to learn of what is about to transpire. Fine, Danrock, have it your way. Main gun deck, belay that order. May the God Emperor bless your wisdom. Thunderfang, prepare for commercial exchange. Alright. We're going to do 200 points. They do like their Heretic and Xenos artifacts. Heretic trophies and Xenos artifacts. We can currently get heavy leather armor. Flamer. Camouflage robe. The wearer's range attacks decrease their target's dodge by -5%. Does not stack. And some melta charges. Also useful to have. We have 10 profit factor. Awesome. Alright, so now when we click on them, it just goes straight to the screen. Cool. Alright, next to Urok 5. I would like to go and equip this on her before I forget. Give that to her. Alright. Actually, before I forget, they said I had 10 profit factor. I want to see if I can respec Argento already. Because she does have a useless talent. I could get the Flamer build again. I did enjoy the Flamer build with her. But supposedly Bolter, at least Heavy Bolter, is significantly better. Alright, I'd like to order the shipping and transportation of some goods. This just brings us to the trade screen. We've only unlocked the Fellowship of the Void thus far. I was saying I have 0. Said I had 10, but whatever. Maybe I was looking at the wrong thing. Maybe that was no, that wasn't reputation. That was definitely profit factor. I guess 10 is the base. Lord Captain, reporting. The heralds of the Navis Nobilite continue to maintain Vox silence. Perhaps due to Urok 5 being off-limits of visitors, or intercepted signals from the beacons drifting in the station's orbit. The demands are clear. We're told to turn the ship around immediately. We've also detected an accumulation of space debris near the station's docks. Presumably, it is the remains of interplanetary shuttles. Perhaps the esteemed Navis Nobilite house requires aid, and therefore cannot respond to our Vox transmission. Contact the station again. I'll negotiate personally. The Vox relays the cadent sound of grinding gears and clicking tumblers. I am sorry, Lord Captain. The station does not reply even after an official greeting by a rogue trader, and the declaration of your intent to negotiate in person. Order the auger crew to scan the station. Yes, Lord Captain. The Vox remains silent for a while, then you hear static and Vigdis's measured voice. The officers from the auger crew performed a full scan of the station, but the information is imprecise. They note wave distortions of unclear genesis that are throwing off most of the readings. We were able to ascertain that the reactor core of the station is still active, but many compartments are unpowered and some fully depressurized. The signs of biological activity are largely present in the central module, which means the station has not been abandoned. So the question remains, why are the esteemed navigators' heralds ignoring us? Order the crew to commence docking with the station. Affirmative, Lord Captain. We do not know what is happening at the station. You have to look for the esteemed navigators blind. Dock safely. May the God Emperor light your path. So I know the order in which you go to these 3 planets, or 2 planets in the space station, determines what happens to, well, I guess on the planet we can't see, the planet's going to the south, the prison planet. I don't know if anything changes on Urok 5 if you go to Rykad Minoris first, because you can get permission to go there from Rykad Minoris. That's where the system's governor is. Did I read this? I don't remember. Affirmative, Lord Captain. We do not know what is happening at the station. You have to look for the esteemed navigators blind. Dock safely. May the God Emperor light your path. Alright. Bring our A team, or the only team we have.
Pathetic worm. You dare to argue with your master?
It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed.
Confess. What was the old man's last command? What are you planning?
Give up, Keeper. You have lost this battle. Again.
We're getting nowhere with these ones, sir. Permission to execute them.
Wretches, be consigned to oblivion for your transgressions against House Orcelio. Immortal Emperor, deliver your servants from peril. Prayers will not help you, servant of the damned. In the name of House Orcelio, I command you to execute the infidels. Not a step further. Master, there are some strange guests on the station. A tall man stops you with a gesture when you approach. Blood is trickling down the pearly scales of his wary face, and not just his own blood. 2 jet black unblinking eyes are watching your every move, and the third one, the mark of a navigator's fate, is menacingly pulsing behind the lowered lid in the middle of his forehead. Step back, or I will unleash all the horrors of the Sea of Souls upon you. Emperor, be my witness. Abelard, if you would be so kind. Seneschal takes a deep breath. Before you stands his lordship, the rogue trader Donnie Dawson von Valancius, heir to the greatest protectorate in the Kronos Expanse, and bearer of the sacred warrant of trade. Allow me to point out that Nobilite custom requires the Lord Navigator to introduce himself first, but given the, unusual circumstances on the station, his lordship the rogue trader is willing to turn a blind eye to your hostility, but just this once. In this case, I shall turn a blind eye to your unceremonious invasion, but just this once. There's a dangerous glint in the man's dark shrouded eyes. Very well. Allow me to introduce myself. Before you stands Felate Christoph August, keeper of this place. So, you did not arrive to offer support to the traitors. This is great news. Having said that, you must understand that Urok 5 is a holy sanctum for House Orcelio, and the path to it is only revealed to a select few. It pains me to say, you are not on the guest list. What is happening on the station? Where did all these corpses come from? Betrayal. The most banal thing in the life of the Nobilite, don't you think? I was stabbed in the back by my closest friend, Theobald Orcelio, the second keeper of Urok 5 and my mentor. On his instructions, my own people sabotaged the generators, blew up the shuttles, and brutally massacred the loyal servants of my mistress. Most unforgivably, they dared to take her prisoner. Greedy scum. I swear by the throne's light, their souls will perish in the darkness of the void. Felix falls silent for a few moments, and then furiously slams the end of his staff onto the floor. The madmen have captured Lady Cassia, and are now torturing her upstairs while we are idly chatting down here. Help me rescue her or be gone, but waste no more of my precious time. I still have questions concerning the situation on the station. Our idle chatter will not save Lady Cassia, but if you need to be sure of something before you can help, so be it. Tell me about your mistress. Regretfully, I'm not allowed to discuss my mistress, whether with her retinue or the outsiders. She'll tell you about herself personally if she feels like it. That is, assuming she survives. I am begging you not to waste any more of our precious time, for it is running out. What makes you think your mistress is still alive? A spark of concern flickers in the black pits of Felix's eyes. You may not believe me, but Lady Cassia is capable of... The navigator cringes, seemingly in pain, and furiously exhales. Incredible things. Not even the traitor Theobald can easily harness her power. My men have reported that the station is in a deplorable state. The navigator irritably brushes away a strand of bloodied hair. Trust me, I should know. Everything happened too quickly. There were dozens of reports of accidents, victims, and failing systems. But the only precious thing aboard this station is Lady Cassia's life. Everything else is futile, and can be easily replenished. We should know this, because we haven't been to Rykad Minoris yet. Why did you not respond to the messages from Rykad Minoris? I've already said Urek 5 is sacrosanct. Sacrosanct. It is the holy domain of the Navis Nobilite, and it is forbidden for commoners from the world below. We'd hoped to solve the crisis on our own, but when the situation spiraled out of control, we could not establish contact because the traitors had disabled our equipment. Enough questions. Hope your curiosity is fully satisfied. What kind of help are you talking about? I never ask you for such a favor under different circumstances, and yet... Felix takes his hand away from his ribcage, notices blood, and winces in pain. And yet, Lady Cassia's well-being is above all. I haven't got many people left, and my wounds are too deep for me to act with precision and swiftness. But you may actually succeed. In order to ascend to the Mistress's chambers, you will need to remake a holy relic sanctified with the blood of Lady Orcelia herself. This is the control rod of the elevator machine spirit. I have one part, and the other was lost during the mutiny. Even this relic will be of no use unless the elevator mechanism is powered. Why should I help you? You came to this station for a reason. House Orcelia will not be able to help you until the current crisis is resolved. But if you aid us now, I promise we will reach an agreement that you will find satisfying, be it riches, influence, or the powers of our navigators. How do I remake the control rod? I have a phylactery containing the mistress's blood. It needs to be taken to the laboratory, which is located behind one of the reliquary doors. The most ancient of sacred mechanisms will help rebuild the rod. The tech priest ceaselessly performed the rites of appeasement, so that the machine spirit would serve the house in its time of need. The fateful hour is now upon us. So how am I supposed to power the elevator? The station's main cogitator is situated in the guard room. Just enter the correct command sequence, and the sacred mechanism will do the rest. If it is so simple, why don't you do it yourself? I never said the feat would be easy to accomplish. The path to the laboratory and the guard room is blocked by the very same madmen who took over the station. They will not negotiate and are not afraid of displeasing the Navis Nobilite, or incurring the Emperor's wrath. They bow only to brute strength, something which I currently happen to lack. I guess that makes sense. Say what you have decided, descendant of the Von Valancius line. Sorry, so what have you decided? Hmm. Yeah, maybe option 2. So I do plan on going Iconoclast, but I think we'll still be loyal to the Imperium. But I think the Emperor's actual vision of the Imperium, not the religious theocracy that it's become. So the woes of your house upset the balance of power in this part of the galaxy. I'll help you if not for the sake of profit, but for the good of the Imperium. Bellic nods curtly. You should hurry then. We'll stay here to hold the line and lick our wounds. Good luck, rogue trader. May the Emperor's light be with you. Phylactery of Blood. A sealed vial engraved with the initials CTEO.
I always keep my options open.
Hurry. Each minute may cost the mistress her life. So I'm curious, so some of these, items only get flavor text when you open them up. Which is easier to spot. The flavor text. That's fine. Let's look around.
The premonition runs true.
The corpses are mauled by a force far beyond any mortal capacity. The faces are twisted in pain, and the hands are fused with improvised weapons. Tools, scissors, and cutlery.
Let us not dawdle.
White. Bright, pure color. And it's all riddled with horrible veins that carry the poison of fear and pain throughout its body. Who are you? Why are you crying?
If the witch is talking about the enemies of humanity who set upon this abode of noble navigators, then our weapons will soon dispel their wicked misery.
Alright. Try and turn this on real quick. Elevator's power is out. Like, we can see this from here, can't we? Oh.
I always have a backup plan.
Well, let's try and get some action. Oh, what do you say? At the ready. The conspirators are trying to break through the guard rooms. Through to the guard rooms. On this way. Stand firm. Must not let the miscreants defile House Orcelio. Fire at will, for House Orcelio.
Your arrogance will be your downfall.
Him up front.
You dare cross the faithful.
Alright. I'm not going to show tutorials. I've played through this before.
On it. I'll make it happen.
That's fun. Alright.
On it. But of course.
Oh, I was hoping to take that guy out.
Weather the storm.
That's alright.
Follow my lead. Oh.
Eradicated.
Good job, Argenta.
I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, strike is a prayer.
Alright, I guess he's just gonna stand here for now. I don't think his shotgun can reach anybody. Not yet.
Onward!
I've suffered worse.
Weapon at the ready. Die!
Anything else?
What else you can really do? Oh man,
Didn't flinch.
got a little lit up there.
Rejoice in battle! Faith without deeds is worthless.
I don't think she has an angle on this guy.
Follow my lead. Victory is imminent. At your beck and call.
That's all I got.
None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Alright, there we have it. We can park
Always
back up
keep
here,
your
and next
eye
time
on
we
the
will
prize.
explore this room, grab our loot. I just wanted to get some action, and because it's been a few episodes. But I will call it here for now, and next time we'll explore this room and continue pushing into the Navis Nobilite station. But for now, thanks for watching. I'd hope to see you guys in the next one.